Next, houses in the Hunter fetch a top dollar despite a rate hike. Real estate experts say the Hunter's piping hot property market is showing signs of cooling down, helped along by an interest rate hike. But it's not a steep fall, with houses still fetching big bucks across the region today.
Adamstown resident Michael Donovan, finding a new home is all about location, and this Cooks Hill 2 better ticks all his boxes.
That's the selling thing for me. Yeah, walking distance everywhere.
The recent interest rate hike failing to put a damper on demand. Agents counting more than 20 heads through the door.
Big round of applause. Sold, congratulations, and very well applauded.
Michael snapping it up for $1.25 million, well above the price guide's lower end at $990,000.
Happy, but was so stressed.
It's certainly been a popular one, and as a result today, we went well over reserve today, which was really good news.
Meanwhile, this Soldier's 0.5 better fetching $7.6 million at auction, smashing Port Stephens records. Newcastle's average house price rose $160,000 in the year to March, according to Domain data. Lake Macquarie saw a rise of almost 27% and more than 30% in Port Stephens. Despite those sky-high figures,
we're finding that probably since Christmas this year, the top end of the market has started to slow down.
The Real Estate Institute's Wayne Stewart puts that down to uncertainty, caused by a federal election, the cost of living and the threat of rising interest rates.
How are the interest rates going to affect us? How is inflation going to affect us? When will the price of petrol come down?
But there could be good news for buyers.
We're probably going to see the upward rise of prices slow down, so people will be able to get in without having to panic. So that's the main thing at the moment, is the panic's gone out of the marketplace.
Hannah Taylor, NBN News.
It was a public space left damaged and defaced by vandals, but the community has given it the ultimate facelift. Tanambit residents today helped paint an impressive mural at a local park as part of a project to reduce antisocial behaviour.
Fences filled with kind words written in bright colours. This artwork, designed by the people who live near O'Hearn Park, marks a fresh start.
Some of the graffiti, unfortunately, was directed towards the police. Police aren't welcome down here, but that's a minority of the community. The vast majority of this community are very good people.
A chance for kids to form and build relationships within the community. Today's project made possible by funding from Maitland Council, Hume Housing and Police, while artists from Up and Up helped highlight the region's Indigenous significance.
There's going to be an eagle that's drawn here, so that's Kowal. Kowal is our protector.
An area surrounded by social housing, it's hoped the artwork will encourage more Tanambit locals to use the community space and treat it with kindness.
They're just so happy to take a bit of ownership over their park and their community.
Well, it just speaks about collaboration, doesn't it, and community and respect. And supporting our children is the primary reason that we're here.
And the initiative could attract more state government funding to the park.
There's a lot of opportunity there for funding, and that's something that we'll certainly be pursuing. But it's got to be directed by the community.
Lauren Kemp, NBN News.
Your local sport for Newcastle and the Hunter is coming up after the break, as the Newcastle Falcons proved too strong for the Central Coast Crusaders women. In the NBL 1 East competition, the Newcastle Falcons have made it back-to-back, defeating the Central Coast Crusaders up at the basketball stadium in the women's competition. And that, of course, started this afternoon. They're two of the best foes and the best regions in the NBL 1 East Women's competition. But of course, it wasn't going to be over for Newcastle.
Inside into loader.
With the Newcastle Falcons and the Central Coast Crusaders battling it out against each other.
College, but then WNBL programs. Ralph with nice penetration.
And of course, the Falcons had to have a fight back.
Ralph and Loader go at it again.
Van continued on.
We know she can shoot that.
As Newcastle led 13 points to 12,
from three. Nice
the Falcons had a lot of good opportunities.
Open. You'd think she's going to knock that down.
Then they finally did, when they led 34 to 33.
Lack of experience there, I think catches up with them at times. As Crusaders go inside.
Even though the Crusaders tried everything they could, but it was the Falcons' day.
It's a nice pass from
But it was the Newcastle Falcons' day.
Candid finish from Johnson there. Throw back there. Kingham with a nice effort.
And of course, the Falcons were not done yet.
Foy can't finish it, but it's McGinniston there who cleans up the Foy miss. Newcastle get it side to side. Kingham pulls up for three.
The Falcons secured a slam dunk, and that, of course, had to be done.
We've seen some offense by the Falcons.
The fourth quarter was much better for the Falcons.
They just haven't been able to convert at the hoop.
They had to stop their Central Coast rivals from winning.
I think if I was the Falcons, I think they can get some stuff out of the pick and roll.
And they certainly did. The Falcons secured a win up at the basketball stadium at Broadmeadow this afternoon.
The interesting thing for the Falcons is every time that the Crusaders...
With the Falcons leading 51 points to 44, it was fantastic for Newcastle. Now, they were leading by 10. Newcastle 54, Central Coast 44. Newcastle were leading by 10. Then secured a well-known comeback.
Dribble this one out. As they come away with a win, we'll call it a win.
With the match all but over, the Falcons women secured a huge win over the Crusaders.
The Crusaders are still winless.
It was spectacular for Newcastle, with the Falcons 59, the Crusaders 49 in the NBL 1 East women's competition. It was a marvellous win for the Newcastle North Stars tonight up in Melbourne against the Mustangs. They defeated them 3 points to 1. And of course, the North Stars face the Melbourne Ice tomorrow afternoon. Meanwhile, in round 7 of Newcastle Rugby League, Cessnock went down to Wyong 34 to 30. While Western Suburbs are still without a win after losing to the Entrance, while South Newcastle defeated Lakes United, and also Curry suffered a heartbreaking loss to Maitland. And also, the match between Central Newcastle and the Macquarie Scorpions will be on tomorrow at 3 p.m. To the AFL Hunter Central Coast, and of course in the men's competition, there was good news for Killarney Vale. They hammered Warners Bay, while Telgor Avoca were too strong for Maitland. In the real one today, and of course the Entrance took down Cardiff, while Killarney Vale took down Lake Macquarie by 2. And of course, Telgor Avoca took down Wallsend West, and also Newcastle City took down Wyong Lakes. In the women's version of Black Diamond AFL, and of course it's the Hunter Central Coast women, Wyong Lakes secured a win over Warners Bay, while Cardiff were too strong for Killarney Vale, 49 points to 1. Meanwhile, in the other games, Newcastle City were too strong for Maitland, Meanwhile, Telga Avoca were too strong for Singleton. Still to come, we'll have a look at the results of the Newcastle and Hunter Rugby League and the Newcastle and Hunter Rugby Union after this. To round 4 of Newcastle and Hunter Rugby League, and the match between Ourimbah and Dora Creek was washed out because of the wet weather and also the sunny conditions as well. But thankfully, the match between Woodbury and South Newcastle went on as Woodbury took down South Newcastle's men with a 30-6 win. There were plenty of wins in the ladies' league tag of the Newcastle and Hunter Rugby League. It started yesterday with Morpeth defeating Dudley. Wobbecool defeated Raymond Terrace, and West Wallsend annihilated Shortland. And of course, Tea Gardens' match against Cardiff will start tomorrow at 1:30. To round 3 of the Hunter Rugby Union, and Mayweather Carlton have secured a win over Singleton. And of course, Nelson Bay were too strong for the Southern Beaches. Meanwhile, the Wanderers produced an upset over Lake Macquarie, and the Hamilton Hawks were too strong for the University of Newcastle. Next, we'll wrap it all up with the highlights of both the Hunters NPL and WPL highlights. Finally tonight in the Hunters NPL competition, Lake Macquarie gave Adamstown Rosebud their first loss of the season, 2-1. Meanwhile, in the Women's Premier League, Broadmeadow was just too good for Newcastle Olympic, 3-1. Don't forget, that's it for now. I'll be back tomorrow. Good night.